maybe never, but there might come a time. It's so nice to have you all here on this beautiful May evening with the heat. And I know it's March. That's the point, is that when I went to pick up Samuel today from West Middle, it was 82 degrees. And so it sometimes is a little bit confusing, and it is a little bit disorienting. But then we also live in Missouri. But it's wonderful to have you all here this evening. Our hope with this, for those of you who have gathered in person, those online, and those who will watch this later, is to be able to give us tools to be able to have protection of our wallets, protection of our identity, and one of the big things, too, is protection of our peace of mind. And that is a thing that is first and foremost of why we're offering this and why we're lifting this up. So glad to have you all with us. I'm going to pass it off to Brad. He's going to share a little bit more, or I can even, how about that? But again, glad to have you all with us as we focus on peace of mind and about how to navigate this world that is ever-changing with scams and frauds, et cetera. So glad that you all are here. So invite my friend Brad.
Thank you. Before we get started tonight, I did want to make an announcement to everybody. It's more of good news, bad news. Bad news is this is the last night for the Kellings at St. Mark's Church. We are moving. Good news is we're moving to Hawaii. So I know. See, a wealthy Nigerian prince called me the other day. No, this is real. He called me and explained he was escaping some political persecution over there, and he had to wire all of his money over to the U.S., and now he can't get to it unless he gets to a U.S. bank. So he was just calling random numbers, and I got the number. I got the call. So I sent him $1,000 gift cards so he'd get a plane ticket, but when he comes over, he's going to pay us back $3 million. So I just wanted to share that with our church family. And it couldn't have come at a better time. This is a little bit embarrassing, but the Kelling family was behind in their federal taxes, too. I recently got a phone call from the IRS, from their office in Venezuela, and again, I can escape a lot of the penalties if I would just pay in Apple gift cards. So we got that going for us, and then my phone, literally this week, this is true, I keep getting all these notifications that I owe tolls. Does anybody else get those? You owe tolls? Where did that come from? Yeah, but with this windfall of money, we are going to be able to pay all this off and invite you all to come to Hawaii with us. So these are all well-known scams. I know that you guys know this, but educated people have fallen for these things over the years. And how was that possible? How that was possible is because there was a con man, con woman, con person. We'll say a con person that was able to convince them over the phone that it was legit. And right, wrong, or indifferent, it took talent to be able to convince somebody of this lie, okay? But as we move into this next generation with AI, we have a computer that's doing it for us. So before, where it took talent, now there's algorithms, and the computer is able to think on its feet, answer the questions on the phone, and it learns from you as you're conversing with it. It is, I don't want to say scary, but it is scary. So one of the scams that we've been seeing a lot with the police department is these ransoms. Somebody's calling, hey, my grandchild was abducted. I got the phone call. I know it's real. I heard their voice. This is correct. You are hearing their voice. They're able to use that AI technology. All they need is a snippet of one of your loved ones' voices, and they can put it into the computer program and make it say whatever they want to say, and it will act accordingly. So it's out there quite a bit. So we're going to talk a little bit of how you can protect yourselves, know that these are scams, and just kind of dive into it a little bit, and we'll slow back down on it. So with that being said, we're going to talk about a few of the different scams that are out there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eleni Levin, and I've been in the technology field for about 40 years now, and I've been in cybersecurity for about the past 8. So I'm not an expert on this, but I think I'm kind of pretty good at it, though. All right. Let's see. Where'd my screen go? Okay. All right. So, first thing we're going to talk about, come on, let's go. Which way do I point this? This is working. I've tried all of them. Well, I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay. All right, so what are all of these different attacks or fraud scams? A lot of these are called phishing. So as you can see up there, phishing is where an attacker sends a fraudulent message designed to trick a human victim into revealing sensitive information to the attacker or to deploy malicious software on the victim's computer infrastructure. Email is the most popular place where this happens. So, and how many people used to get, I haven't heard them too much anymore, but those phone calls from Microsoft saying that your computer is, you need to upgrade, and, we have to get on your computer. And so that's a lot of those are too. And a lot of them want you to click, especially in the email, they want you to click on a link. So those are like big signs on things to watch for when you're getting in email. So some other forms are called phishing, which is voicemail, smishing, which is text messages. So I've been getting tons of text messages lately too on fraud things. And then I love this term, quishing. So those are those QR codes. And Brad was just saying a couple weeks ago, I don't trust those things. So he doesn't even like to do them at restaurants and stuff. So anyways, there's just some other things on here. Cyber criminals, they call or send deceptive text messages, and they lure victims into sharing any kind of personal information. Okay? Let's see. And some of the biggest things is, like I said, they're getting smarter and more creative. So on your emails, you may see logos of things, so you think it's legitimate, but you really got to be careful. You got to just keep looking, and we'll go through all the different things that you can look at on emails and in text, and to see, that we'll throw up those big flags and everything. Okay? Any questions so far? We want to keep this open and light. All right, so common themes of phishing attacks is they'll use social engineering, and so it's impersonation again. Do you have a question? I think that sounds like a scam. Yeah, it's clickbait. They just want you to click on that so they can get your information, and then, yeah. So they impersonate. Everything's always a matter of urgency. So that's another thing. Like, you got to do this now, especially when you get those phone calls and they get, especially with that voice. It's always something. They want you to get urgent. They want you not that when it's urgent, then you're not thinking straight, right? And so you just kind of go with the flow because you're more worried about what is going on. Okay, and then there's some other things like pretexting and baiting. Okay, the attacker, the first thing they want to do is gain your trust. So that's why they're doing it through a phone call, through text, email, again, clicking on websites, or trying to get remotely into your computers and everything. So why do we click? Why do we click? Because we're in a hurry a lot of times, right? A lot of times you're just you're looking through your emails and you're just like, oh, here, I'll just do this real quick. Or, oh, this looks legit. I'll just go click on and fill out that survey or something like that, right? So that's one thing. So yes, we're in a hurry and everything's always targeted, like you got to do it now. So again, big red flags on that, those types of things. I think I put some examples on here. I don't know if you can see those. Like that message, the text message, it's telling you we remove this abusive content that was posted on your Facebook account. Click here. As you can tell, that's not a true Facebook account there, and I can't really read the top ones. I guess I should have made those bigger. But again, as in a lot of those, it's like you need to click here to fill out a survey or something like that. And then on the one that's Trusted Bank, again, that's where they're using the logos and everything. So it looks very, from your first glance of looking at that email, you're going to think that that's that company. All right, questions so far? Okay. Correct. Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Or it might be like somebody's name.com too. I see that quite a bit on scam emails that are coming in. Oh, I'll repeat them? Okay. Okay. So, what should you do? Okay? You want to slow down. That's the big thing. Slow down and inspect. Inspect every single thing that is on that email or in that text. Okay? So, slow down, read, inspect. All right, now these are a lot of questions that you can ask yourself too. I don't know if I have to go through every one of them, but can you verify the authenticity of the caller or sender? Okay, so you want to make sure they're authentic. Can you confirm the email? Is this message unsolicited? Inspect the URL, just like Carol said. Do you recognize that URL? Are there misspelled words or bad grammar? This one is probably, you're not going to see anymore because AI is taking care of the bad grammar. So that's one example of where AI has really taken over. Let's see. Are the company logos legit? So that's the other thing. You kind of want to look at those. Look at those company logos. Do the situation and signature appear to be normal? It's like some will have, I think we have some examples of that, but some of them might say salutations or they, it's just kind of the wording's not quite right. So you kind of want to look at those too. Are they requesting any sensitive information? That, if any of your emails or texts or anything, any kind of sensitive information, that's a big red flag. You should stop and really think about what you're doing with this, okay? Is there any deviation from the sender's normal tone or behavior? So if, let's say, like Dave, he likes to, make sure you all get gift cards, right? So, and so you might think, well, that's kind of seems strange from Dave. That's not usually the way he handles those emails or talks in his emails or writes his emails. So that's something to think about too. Again, I don't know if I've said this before, but that sense of urgency, that is the other thing. The attackers want to get your mind in another space, and they want you to act on things, and that's when you're not thinking straight half the time, okay? Does the message or conversation invoke other emotional triggers? Again, that's kind of the same thing, Again, that urgency, oh my gosh, my grandson's in jail, I gotta take care of him, I gotta get this money. And that happened to a friend of mine's mom. She thought it was her grandson on the phone. She went and took $5,000 out of her bank account. They came to the house and she actually handed the money to them too. And she didn't tell anybody. She didn't tell any of her kids or anything that what was going on. So. And does it just make sense? Does the whole transaction make sense? And another thing is even on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of those things too, you really should be is this picture really the items that I'm buying? It looks too good. So a lot of times it's if, it's that old saying, if it's too good of a deal, it's probably not real. Okay. All right, and again, I just put a little note there that AI has resolved a lot of these issues because the AI it's machine learning, so it's understanding everything. So it takes away all those grammar mistakes. It knows how to put those good logos in there. So it's just good. It's going to get harder and harder and harder with AI. Okay, same with the phishing and SMS attacks. It's kind of a lot of the same information. You just want to verify the authenticity. These are for your SMS attacks or your text messages that come in. Verify the authenticity. Is the call urgent? Again, does it make sense? I'm going to beat this into your brain tonight. This is what you're going to walk away here with, okay? And again, like I said, AI is changing the phishing attacks it can make the search stage more efficient and effective for attackers. AI can collect information for social engineering purposes from across the web nearly instantly. Attackers can use Gen AI to clone the voice of a trusted contact and create deep fake audio. Okay, so again, your grandson calling, I'm in jail. Okay, any questions so far? Oh. Here.
So I had a message the other day from actually the message was pretty good, but I looked at the top of the message. The sender was a 044 country code. I didn't look up that country code, but that's not, obviously it's outside the U.S.
I know I've been getting a lot of international calls that are coming in, too. Is anyone else getting Like international calls coming in? Yeah. Because I said it. Okay, again, just some more examples of different types of scams. There's the family emergency. Again, those are the ones to really watch for because they will get some audio that sounds just like the person that you know. And you're going to think you're talking to that person, and they're going to be asking for those things. These investment scams, a lot of crypto, currency scams that are going out there too. They'll want you to buy their crypto coins. So watch for that. Anytime someone's asking you to invest in crypto, I would, put your red flag up on that. Tech imposters. Again, that's kind of like that Microsoft one where they're saying, hey, you have a technical problem, it could be a piece of software or your operating system, anything. They could be calling and say, hey, we have to get in there and install an update for you. So you need to be aware of those. Most companies don't call you when it comes to those kind of things. They or definitely will let you know through email or something else if there's some kind of update. Or the system should know when it needs to do its own updates anyway. And then again, like Facebook Marketplace. This one is, I got scammed on a Facebook Marketplace thing, and it really made me mad that I fell for it. So, and I was even going, this just doesn't seem right, but it's the first time I ever bought anything on Marketplace ever, and so I thought it was normal, and I was like, ugh, so that's another bad one, because they will post pictures that, like I said, it was too good to be true. And I saw the red flags, and I still kind of went for it. So, all right, any more questions? Yes?
If the phone rings and you don't see an identifying name on it, if the phone rings and, should I stand up and sing? And there's no identifying name on it, if you happen to pick it up and no one's there, is that doing anything on the other end somehow?
Usually when that happens, it's like going through like a call center, and so it's connecting you to the person. So if you're sitting there going, hello, 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 then that's them, that's connecting the call to the agent or whatever that's going to. So that's my clue. If they don't respond to me right away, I just hang up. I know that means I'm being connected to someone else, and it's probably some solicitor. Most of them are solicitors on that one, but that's a big clue. I used to support phone systems, so I know that trick too. So, yeah. Okay. Yes?
I never answer the phone if I don't recognize the person that's calling me. If it's just a number or a name I don't know. If they want to talk to you bad enough, they'll leave a message.
And you can call them back.
Yep.
No, people online can't hear you. That's why.
Well, I can repeat it if you want to just say.
9 times out of 10, if you answer that call, they have now identified a number that is a live number. They will call again.
That's correct. 9 times out of 10, they are just trying to get your phone number. And most of the times, they also simulate, and the area code. So you think someone local is doing it. Now, I have an advantage of that because I moved from Illinois, so my cell phone is still 224 area code. So all of my scam calls are coming in from 224 or 847, all this Chicago area phone numbers. So that's when I know that these are scams. When a 314 number comes in, I really kind of sit and look at it because I'm like, this might be someone I know. But now they're getting smart, and now I'm getting a lot of scam calls from 314. Yes.
But like what Carol said, if you don't recognize the number or it's not attached to anything, and they really want to reach you, they'll leave a voice message, and then you can call them right back. And then those are legitimate. That's my thing. I do not answer just a number only.
I agree. I don't either. And half of them leave messages for something I don't want anyway. So. All right. Now it's time to test your knowledge. I'm going to give it back over to Brad.
When we talked about the Facebook Marketplace, we're going to have Baldwin PD come out here tonight just so we could, have them be part of this presentation. But do you know they have a designated spot in their parking lot? It's got a camera and everything, it says, for Facebook Marketplace exchanges. You can go right to their parking lot if you're selling or buying something, so you can, use that. There's a camera that records everything, the license plates of the cars and everything, so it's a safe place to do those kind of transactions. So I strongly encourage you to use that resource. Even if you don't live in Baldwin, you can still go over there. Yes, yeah, their new station right there. So let's look at this email that we got here from D. Burgess. I got it back in February. Dear Brad, I'm asking you for your expeditious assistance as the reciprocity of our church funds has gone asunder. All right, right away, it's an emergency, right? It's a lot of big words. I'm not sure what they all mean, so I had to look them up, but it sounds like Dave's in trouble. So right away, I'm in. All right, there's an emergency. As you know, my attempt to double our choir budget by betting their funds on the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl did not work. All right, still sounds like Dave, so I think we may have something going here. To correct this deficit, I'm asking that you give at least $50 or more to the church's general fund by clicking on the link below. Blessings, Dave. And then he signs it as usual. He has, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understandings. John 3:16. Okay. All right, so let's dissect this a little bit. Let's start with the red flags. I don't touch computers. Can you advance? All right, so what's our first red flag? Give me a hand. Wrong email. What's wrong with the email address? There's missing an S. There we go. So the first thing that you could have did was checked his email, even if you were like, all right, it sounds like Dave, but I don't know if this is Dave. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at his return address. I can go to the church directory, look at prior emails, and go, hey, this isn't matching up. So first red flag. Boom, you got it. What's the next red flag? Yes, ma'am. All right. Good, good. We're getting to that one. You're ahead of me. There's one before that. 2 S's, we got through that. All right. Remember the sense of urgency. The first thing, I'm asking you for your expeditious assistance. I need help now. There's a flag. All right. What else? So, which one? All right. What else we got? Anybody else see anything in that first paragraph, first couple of sentences? How about the conjugation of there? Does that sound like something Dave would do? All right, there we go. Next slide. So we got there. Dave wouldn't have made that mistake. Not at all. All right, see? All right, next thing, what else we got? What's the next thing? All right. Next page. Okay, has anybody in here given online, used the pay service for their contributions? All right, so if we were going to use that, Again, I can look back at our bulletins and see that that is different. I'm not sure what it is, but it is completely different. Yep. So that would be another way to check it out. So again, just like we had said earlier, slowing things down, dissecting through all the email. And then finally, as we go through this, obviously that is not John 3:16. Extra points if you know which book of the Bible that came from. There we go, Proverbs. Very good. Anything else on there? All right, so we know that this is a scam. This is not from Dave, so we're going to click on that to unsubscribe and get rid of it, right? No, we're not going to click on unsubscribe. That's going right into the trash folder. So we're not going to click on that clickbait. So very good. You guys did awesome on that. Yes, sir. The question was asked, should you do block sender? You can. I do that all the time. I get so many text messages, block sender, block sender, block sender. I get even more. So I'm not sure if that works as well, but I like to think of some kind of security. Yes. Another question, sir?
I think, is it the FTC that has a website that they encourage you to, FTC has a website they encourage you to forward those emails to, or scams?
That I'm not aware of. I apologize. Yeah. So, some of the takeaways that we have for tonight, if you don't mind, please. Again, situational awareness, slowing down. I know it sounds simple, but when you get those emails, that's how these things work. They prey on your emotions, and if they can get you going with an emergency of some sort, you start losing that common sense factor. So slowing things down just a little bit, having that situational awareness. Verify who you're talking to on the phone. Same thing. So these scams, it's coming. We had talked about getting a grandchild calling, hey, I'm in jail, or I've been abducted. It is their voice. AI is able to capture their voice and make those things happen. What's really scary, it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. I can guarantee you. They're going to be able to take that photo and make a video, and it's going to look like them actually doing it. I've seen some of that technology already. They can make photos, do all kinds of things. So it's just getting better and better by the minute. So it's important to have a family code word, okay, that you can verify things with. Something that's unique, hey, what's our code word? What's our family phrase? Something that is very unique that only the immediate people would know. One of the other things you can do when, there's like, oh, my child's been abducted, my grandchild's been abducted, is verify their location, all right? Phone tracker. Does your family members have phone tracker? If you share the same plan, I can easily see where my kids are, and I'm like, well, they're not abducted in Mexico. They're just up at Velasquez Park. So using that, slowing down a little bit, or I can call them. If they say, oh, I've been abducted in jail, some people go, oh, I immediately got to do something. Why not call them and go, hey, are you really in jail in Mexico? No? All right, scam, gotcha. And then just never sharing sensitive information over the phone with somebody that's just that you're not aware of. Those are the biggest things. So, Baldwin is here. We were just talking. There they are, the men in blue. Yes. Verifying.
What do you consider sensitive information?
When they're like, so can you verify your account information? Can you verify your social security number, all your date of birth, all these things we need to know before we can move forward? I would be very hesitant unless you called them. So I'm trying to think of something. So your doctor. If I called Mercy and was talking to my doctor and they say, hey, we need to verify your date of birth and your social, you could feel comfortable. But if Mercy calls you out of the blue and says, hey, we need to update your file, we need all this information, call Mercy back. Well, what's your phone number? And usually you click.
So, for example, date of birth is sensitive?
It could be. It could be. They will take that and use it. Yeah.
And one thing I'll quickly add with that is St. Mark used to have a lovely tradition of including everyone's birthday in the newsletter and in bulletin publications. We stopped doing that many years ago for this very reason, is because while it's a very nice thing to have, anything that, even like prayer requests, we print up a sheet. I guess in theory, someone could show up, grab the sheet, and then have that information. But we are very careful with that, and it's crummy, but it's also the reason we do that is to further layer of protection for you all.
Sir? Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. So this is avoiding getting scammed, which is what really is important. But what if you've made a mistake, and let's say, for example, I'm talking to a person that I think is from Microsoft to deal with some Microsoft problem that I'm having, and then I get to the point in the conversation where I've given them some information, but I realize, no, this is not really someone from Microsoft, and I hang up. What should I do to prevent them from taking advantage of the information that I already provided? What steps should I take if I realize I've been scammed?
So I guess a lot of that depends on what information that you gave up. So if you gave up passwords to let them remote into your computer, you would automatically be wanting to reset all those passwords and all, which is a pain. But resetting all those things. So it'd just be dependent upon what you've talked about. And then being cognizant if you start getting a bunch of emails from Microsoft and it's saying click here, click here, click here. Again, I would call back to their home office if you need assistance by them. Authentication codes? Yeah. And so I don't want to throw Baldwin under the bus as they came here late, and he was very kind. The detective that was working with us to do this presentation was ready last month when we had the blizzard. Unfortunately, she was out of town for today, so we got Officer Carr and we got these two guys here that came in at the last minute. So if all things go bad, we've made a mistake, we've given out the information, we've got scammed, we've done gift cards, and you live in the city of Baldwin, you're going to be contacting these gentlemen to go, hey, I messed up. I need to make a report. So I'm going to come to the station and...
Yeah, one we will... I'm loud.
No, it's
better,
being
easier?
live-streamed.
Okay, oh, it's being live streamed, awesome. Yeah. So one, I know a while ago we had some scams going around that we were calling, and on your caller ID, it showed Baldwin Police. We will never call you, and the police department won't call you and say, hey, you have a warrant out, you need to come in, or can you go to the store and buy gift cards? No legitimate business, agency, company, anywhere will ask you to pay with gift cards, Apple cards, Target gift cards, because once you guys do that, money's gone. It's like cash. Like you were saying, once you think you may have given out too much information, best thing you do is, like you said, reset all your passwords, contact Social Security, contact your credit card companies, the 3 major credit reporting agencies, and flag all your information. I personally had this happen to me. I didn't give out information. So somehow they got a hold of a checking account. I called the 3 credit reporting agencies. They flagged my account. 3 months later, I went to go buy a car. Every time that dealership ran my credit, I was getting a phone call from the agency or from one of their partners saying, are you trying to purchase a car? So it does work. I do know that personally. The credit reporting agencies are a great tool. Is this over just solely cyber scams, or is this scams in general? Have you done romantic scams, anything like that? Okay, because this is first we know what's going on. Awesome. So, so he's went over a lot of the computer scams, some of the financial stuff. Again, the calls, hey, a relative's in jail, we need $3,000 in gift cards to get out of jail. Again, we will never, no agency will ever ask for it. Surprisingly enough, people do it all the time, so if it happens to you, you're not alone. It happens. But there's also, we haven't had them too much. There are romance scams, and it's all over the internet and social media, so if you're on social media, Myself, when I'm on social media, I don't even go under my regular name. Before everything that was going on here in St. Louis, everyone thought I was weird because I didn't use my real name. And then everything happened up north, and then everyone changed their names because people were showing up at officers' homes because they recognized them on live streaming, and they kind of tracked you down. So if you have any type of social media footprint, pictures, grandkids, anything like that, that is a way that someone can track you and get a hold of you. Whether it's supplying them information from your social media to contact some of your relatives and friends, using your name, saying, hey, so you're in jail, you calling your kids, saying you're in jail and you need money. Hopefully they don't fall for that one. But with the social media, there are romance scams out there where people will be in a relationship via online, nothing online, never meet the person, and we've had people send tens of thousands of dollars across overseas. One gentleman sent, it was 3 separate times where we eventually had the family take the computer away because he was $75,000 deep plus, and he went out and bought a new computer and reestablished everything, and then they pretty much got every bit of money he had. So if you don't know them online and they contact you out of nowhere, unless it's someone that you recognize from your past, usually I keep my past in the past, I don't bring it to my present for a reason. Those are some of the ones that we haven't seen too much. Mostly now it's all relatives in jail, or there's something wrong with your computer and they remote in. Those are the 2 big ones that we've had a lot. Then the IRS scams, obviously, with tax season. The best thing you can do with personal information is you get a good shredder. Now it's pretty common. I think we've had 2 shred events this year. Chamber of Commerce puts them on a lot, and pretty much every municipality in the area does shredding events. So this time, I think we had like a 2 or 3 box limit. Sometimes you bring us a trash bag or a trash can full of stuff, and we'll trash it. We'll shred it all. And those companies are guaranteed they will shred it. It's you don't have to worry. Once it's in those bins, it's gone. But with the IRS, if IRS calls you around this time, saying, hey, we need some more information from you, set up an appointment with the IRS locally. Or you go to file your taxes, and they send you a letter saying your taxes have already been filed and you have a check in the mail coming to you for $5,000. Sometimes we've had people where they show up at the police station with a check going, what do I do with this? Because they can't file their taxes. So again, it goes back to you're going to have to go to contact the IRS. That's probably when you'll get, I think it's called just the EIN, or no, you get a new tax PIN. Those are the big ones for this time with the taxes, and then the computer scams. I think that's about it.
Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, yeah. Facebook Marketplace. It's a great place if you're looking for deals. It's a horrible place if you're looking for deals. Because one, if the deal looks really, really good, either the stuff is stolen, or they're going to ask you to meet them at a gas station or at a local restaurant. It's going to be at night. I don't know of any police department around here that doesn't have or doesn't allow you to do meetups in their parking lot or in their lobbies. We encourage people to come and let us know if our lobby's closed. You walk into our lobby, you hit the little button and call dispatch and say, hey, I'm going to be in the parking lot meeting with somebody to do a marketplace transaction. They'll let us know. Most likely you'll see one of us just kind of buzzing around the station real quick, kind of keep a close eye. With small items, it's usually if it's a super good deal like power tools and they show up and they're supposed to be new, they say they're new, but they got sawdust all over them. Sometimes they're stolen off the job site. If they're cars, come to us and let us run the VIN on the car, and we will check it and make sure it's not stolen. Not saying that it's not, but it hasn't been reported stolen yet, especially if it's a Hyundai or the Kia. And then the other thing is, I don't do Porsche pickups. I don't let people know where I live. I have security cameras on my house, but I still do not let people know where I live. If they want to buy something from me, I'll meet them at Quick Trip or at the police station. If they say, no, I want to pick it up at your house, say, that's fine, I'm just not going to sell it to you. It's not a binding contract. You can back out of a deal at any time, but don't let people come to your home. They get to your house, they immediately will look, is there cars in the garage? They'll look at the front door. Do they have dogs? Is the house well lit? Is it a neighborhood where, like out here in Claymont, everybody I know, when I stop and talk to people, if we have an issue with a neighbor, oh, hey, I got their number or I got their kid's number because they're out of town. If you live in a neighborhood, get to know your neighbors. So if someone does show up at your house, there's plenty of eyes on you. And some of you people might be the eyes in the neighborhood because once you get if you're retired, got time to get to know your neighbors. Unfortunately, this is the time that we kind of live in where we'll go to someone's house and I'm like, hey, have you talked to your neighbor lately? No. Do you know their name? No. How long have you lived here? 7 years. I'm like, how do you not know your neighbor after 7 years, not a name? But the marketplace is huge for scams. But again, don't let them come to your house. Tell them, meet me at the police station. That's always a good one. If they back out of it or they don't show, you know that either it was a scam or they were going to want to do something else than just a deal. Let's see, marketplace, computer scams. That's it? Okay.
You also have the firefighters. You can go to the second responder stations too and do those kind of things. So, yes, ma'am.
Firefighters do call, and I always just say I don't do anything over the phone because I don't trust that they're collecting money for the fire department.
I can guarantee you, my wife's a firefighter friend, I can never less. Maybe not more.
Yeah. Those kind of the same thing. I used to get phone calls, asking, money to support police, and I've never seen a dime. Yeah, the sheriff's organization. I don't know where that money goes, but it doesn't go to us. So, great questions. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We're going to hang around for a little bit if you want to talk to us about anything. Again, being vigilant, slowing down, not having that impulsive, emotional reaction to an email or a text. And verifying the information. That's going to be your biggest thing. So appreciate everybody's attention tonight and coming out. So without that, have a great night.